What's up, fam? Hope everybody's enjoying this beautiful Monday. We just got to come in and have a good time. I want y'all to know God is good all the time, and we're here. We're celebrating because we're live. A lot of things are going topsy-turvy in the world, but hey, we're still here. We're here by the grace of God. We're making it. Doesn't mean we have all the answers. Doesn't mean we have everything we want, but fam, we're still here, and I'm excited about that. One of the things that I've been challenged to do really over the past 16 years. When I moved to Atlanta, at our church, we adopted a 5-generational model because some churches geared only to the younger people, some geared toward the older people. And when I moved here 16 years ago, my first church in Macon, Georgia, was a very church. Our average age was 29. When I moved to Atlanta, our average age was 63. So I've been kind of all over the place in terms of the demographics. But one of the things that's important is the importance of having ministry that fits everybody. And one of the demographics that we see in church that's really an underserved demographic, we hear a lot of talk about millennials. And of course, that's very, very important. Those who are probably born, those who are probably 35 and under, and sometimes 35, 36 and under. But sometimes when it gets to those who are older 35 or closer to 40 or older than 40, sometimes we don't really get the same type of attention or ministry opportunities. And so it's an underserved group. I thank God for the millennials. I thank God for the youth and the children we got, because it's the next generation. Same time, you have people who lived a while and they've been at it and they experienced some things, and yet sometimes we leave them out. And so today we have been inundated really from a lot of singles, 35 and older, who say, hey, what about us? What's ministry for us? What does that look like? And it's important that churches do it. And so today, to that end, I'm excited about our conversation today. We were trying to find a name for our conversation, and we decided city for those who are younger singles, those who are in college, under 35, those who are just trying to figure life out in some aspects. But what happens when you are not 20 or not 18? Not saying that you're old, but you're still very sexy and still very a lot of life. Ain't nobody dead, by no way, shape, form, or fashion. But we're trying to have something here to minister to everybody. So I'm excited. And those mature, seasoned, grown and sexy singles who've been asking, what are you going to do for us? And why doesn't the church and why don't churches reach out to us? We're here to address that conversation. And we're going to be talking about this every Monday throughout this pandemic. So to that end, we have 3 amazing guests today. It's going to be a fun, engaging conversation. I'm going to start with the other fella in the group. I love his ministry. He is an entertainer. He is a comedian. He is a clown. He travels the world, putting smiles on the faces of people. He's an actor. He's a writer. Has a heart, and he's doing a lot of tours all over the world. And we're excited to have him on here. He's going to represent the fellas today. I'm going to bring him on shortly. I speak of none other than Alton Walker. He's going to be with us today. And then, of course, the young lady who I've known my entire... What's up, Alton? What's up, bro? Good to see you, man. And then, of course, the young lady who I grew up with, literally. Her father was mentor, baseball coach, old school dad. One who would beat up the whole baseball team if need be. We respect him to this day because he kept us in line. And he gave me my first opportunity to preach my first public sermon after my initial sermon, May 29th, 1988, when he pastored here at the Woodland Drive Macon Church in Macon, Georgia. His family have been close all of our lives, and his second child, we grew up together. So I graduated from Southwest High School there in Macon, Georgia. When I went to Morehouse, she came to Spelman. We would travel back and forth together, riding back and forth to get home. She's like a sister. Graduated from got a master's from the University of South Carolina there in Columbia, South, and her received from Georgia Southern here in Statesboro, Georgia. She is presently the superintendent of schools of Birmingham, Alabama. She is the Birmingham superintendent of schools. She's a genius. She's a thinker. She's a PK. But she's grown and sexy too. My sister, Dr. Lisa Herring, she's in the house. And what's up, sis? Good to see you. Glad you're here with us and we had this conversation.
Thank you.
And of course, last but not least, our third guest tonight. We still have another who's coming, but our third guest is a native of the DMV. Grew up in the church. She comes from a singing family. She's the niece of the late great Julius Cheeks, who's one of the great quartet singers of our time. Music runs through her veins. People love her because of her spirit. She has a sassy, came up on the scene and just blew up when we saw her. The season of Sunday Best, when she was the winner for season 2, went on to sign a recording contract with Imago Dei. Her project reached #2 on the chart. She also won a stellar 2012 for the Female Artist of the Year. She's a thinker, she's humorous, she loves God, and she's an incredible singer. And she's also part of our Grown and Sexy panel tonight. I speak none other than Yana Crawley. What's up, Yana? What's up, sis? Glad to have you here. Excited to have you here. So we're going to have a good time. And if you're watching, I want you guys to subscribe, like, send the shares. We're going to entertain some questions. I want you to ask questions. We're going to have some fun here on tonight. And I'm going to start with the brother. We always say ladies first, but since my brother Alton is outnumbered tonight, Alton, I'm going to start with you tonight. No ladies first tonight. We're going to break that protocol tonight. It's Alton first tonight. Alton, we've had some conversations, and you're very, very interesting. You're very adamant about these conversations with you dating. And I think you need to be delivered from something, because you got this thing that you call red flags. Red flags. And I want to know what's this all about. Would you kind of enumerate to the audience? Because I'm serious. I really believe something is wrong with you. We also have one more. Thank God we have one more on the call. I didn't think she was going to be able to log on, but this young lady is from California, grew up in the church as well. I'm so sorry. I thought she was not able to get on, but she's on tonight. She is a member of our church, moved here, grew up in the church, doing ministry, and she just got off tour with Tyler Perry. She sings. She's an incredible singer, but she's also a jazz singer, doing amazing jazz singing. And she comes representing those who were married before. She was married, but she went through a divorce. So that perspective is very unique, trying to move on after having some health crises, and how do you put the pieces back together when you're over 35, when you've been divorced, getting back into the dating world. And so we speak, she's next, my sister Sarah Davenport. Sarah Vaughn. What's up, Sarah? How are you? Good night. And so she's gonna talk from her perspective. So, all right. So with all that being said tonight, glad to have everybody here. I'm gonna start with Alton. Alton, been trying to get you married off now for about a year, and you don't want to cooperate, sir. So I need to understand what's up with these red flags. What is about the red flags that keeps you from getting serious about young ladies? Please tell us what that is.
I mean, red flags, first date, in conversation. If a woman says something that sparks a red flag for me, I'm not going on a second date. That is what it is. Now, Pastor, y'all talked about me when we talked about this in a session. Y'all clowned me, but it's just certain things that I don't have to go on another date to figure it out or change. Because I'm not trying to change anybody. So, for instance, I want kids. So if you come on a date with me and say you don't want kids, I'm not going on another date with you and try to figure out, okay, maybe I change her, or maybe I change her mind. And I know a lot of people get into relationships thinking they could change somebody's mind. I know a girl that was with a dude that told her on the first date he don't want to get married, was with him for 5 years, still didn't marry the man. He still didn't want to marry her. And I'm like, well, he told you that on the first date. And so where I'm at in life now, I'm not going to, I don't go in a relationship to change people. I want to go in a relationship and I'm accepting all your perfection and all your flaws to a point where, look, I'm not trying to change it. If that's you, that's you. But I don't want to get in a relationship and tell you that I don't like something, then you're trying to do all you can to change. No, be you. If you don't want something or you a certain way, stay that way. It's someone that will love you for it, just not me. So, once I get those red flags, there's no point of going on another date. It's over. Bye.
So, so, so is it a red flag, or do you have more non-negotiables? Because red flags make it seem like it's something wrong with them. Is it so you have certain expectations? Um, and my thing with you, Alton, I'm wondering, because we've had conversations, it seems like you go on to the looking for the negative. It's almost like You don't want to see the positive. It's almost like you got this hang up that you going to not to learn them, but to see what they did, so you ain't got to go back on the second date. Am I correct, or am I falsely analyzing
No,
this?
it's not that fast. It's just I I go on a date, regular conversation. If they say something that I'm like, I can't continue, why continue? Like for instance, finances. I'm a financial person. I had a woman say she was bad with finances on the first date,
Right.
and I'm like, ugh. And so I didn't go back on the second date with her.
So because of finances was bad, that means you don't have normal conversation, bro? That what you're saying? So there's no room for
Why
growth.
would you share that with me? Like, ugh, you bad with finance. I don't want to be with someone that is just bad with finances. I'm sorry. I just don't want it. Is that bad?
Well, you,
See, y'all looking at me crazy. And this is the one that all the room clowned me on. Because I said I don't want to be with a woman that's bad with finances.
all right. So you got your expectations going in. You know what you want, and I'm not saying anything wrong with expectations or your standards. I'm not saying that, but the red flags. It's just I want you to be clear on is it that you have a list of what's important to you? Is that what it is? So give us
Well,
five
I
things
don't
on your
have a
list that are
list.
important to you.
It's just if they say something that I know I can't live with. There's no point in me. So I'm not going there like, okay, I'm waiting for them to say something because I don't go on a date interrogating people. I just like to have fun, enjoy, and let the conversation lead where it leads. But if they say something that sparks a flag, then I'm like, there's no point of us continuing another date.
Well, you got a list. You give us two things. You want kids. So if one doesn't want kids, it's off your list. Number two, you said they need to be good with finance. So you got us in your head, whether it be subconscious or not. I think it's important to know that. I also think it's important that you may give room for growth, because just because somebody's bad with
Hmm.
finances today doesn't mean that you can help them to grow. I mean, why are you shaking your head?
I ain't got time for that. I listen. I don't feel like I need. Don't do that, y'all. But I mean, we grown, y'all.
I
Come on now. We old. We older. So the room for I don't wanna be in this teaching mode all the time. Like if you ain't
That's
got your financial situation together by now and you still spending crazy on crazy stuff, then I don't have time to take you through a college, Alton Walker Financial College. Like I don't want to do that.
All right, we're gonna
And
come
then
back.
and then
I'm
you
coming
weak
back for you.
link it like
But
this our money.
all right. I'm gonna sit on you in a minute. That's what I'm gonna do. They gonna come for you. That's you. You, Yana, and well, all of you really, Alton, and all three of the ladies. You got something in common. You all four of you are very accomplished in your own careers, and I seen you grow up, and your mother, uh, baby graduated from 2018, and she's now teaching school. So you own your own. But one of the things I've noticed about you early on, the last couple of years, seemed like you were so married to, and this is my observation, we never talked about this, but seemingly to me, you were so married to your career and what you were doing one time, that I didn't know if you had room for anything else or anybody else in your life, because it was you, money, and you in school and you in work. So when I hear you talk about, you know, a relationship, is my question is, do you want a relationship or want somebody to fill in those times? Because it seems like you were your job and your career and your education. If I'm wrong, please forgive me, but that's my estimation. Is my estimate true? Have you heard that before? Because maybe part of the problem is you haven't had room enough. You haven't been available to be found. Is that a true assessment? Have you heard that? Am I right? Am I wrong about that?
so you're right and you're wrong, Pastor. So you're right and you're wrong. So here's what I
Okay.
want to say. I have had several people say to me exactly what you said, that there was this assumption that I didn't have room in my life to date because, for one, my work requires me to be driven. It requires me to be focused and available. And all of my life, I've been raising Imani, who has since graduated. But I can't for the life of me figure out when women are in that category, when you are the head of household, not by choice, but by circumstance, and you are also driven in a career, that the first observation is, so she doesn't have room. So I'm a believer that you make room for what's important, right? And so I would argue in my saying, so you're right and you're wrong, you're right. That's been the assessment of several individuals. The experience has been, has there been anybody that surfaced that made it worth making room, right? And that made me self-reflect on my standards. I was like, maybe my standards are too high. At this juncture, I don't believe that they're too high, but I have to just dismantle the thought that career-oriented women, with or without children, but who are driven by their career, won't make room for a man in their life because their career trumps that. And I think what I have learned is then you've got to go above and beyond to let people know that you're available, that you'll make room, and that's a whole nother body of work. It's like, good gosh, that's work, right? And why is it that when women are driven and kind of moving up, that it's less attractive to men, but when men are driven and they're moving up, it's
Mm.
like, oh wow, let's watch him. And I have brothers. My brothers used to say things to me like, so when you start dating, don't let them come to your house. That might be too much. That might be intimidating. I feel like we get put in these categories to not do the things that we might organically do. And then I think that that makes it uncomfortable. So, do we want that? Yes. Will we make room? Will Lisa make room? Absolutely. But I think that we become unapproachable because that's how people see us, but they don't ask, right? And I will tell you, I'm the first one who is blown away by someone who just is unbothered by all of that. They're just like, no, I want to know who you are. I just find that that is, the older I get, men don't,
Very
they don't
attractive.
take the lead in stepping up. And in my role,
Mm.
I lead and supervise a lot of people every day. And so I have to remember to take that hat off so that I can be approachable. But I also think that that's for those who know that's what you do. They got to be comfortable in their skin, comfortable enough to say, well, I mean, that's what you do, but that's not necessarily who you are. Because I think when they say in their minds that's what you do, they immediately categorize you as not approachable. And then, you're wondering, I have participated in my share of weddings and have asked myself the question around, did I not make myself available just in the way that people see you, right? And so it's a whole nother level of work. So it's that struggle. You're right, but that's never been the goal, and it's hard. It's hard. And so I welcome the conversation around what is it that a woman has to do if she is um, driven by a body of work, whether she's self-made and she has her own, or she maximizes her God-given talents, she's running an organization, etc. We're categorized by what they put on TV. We're not approachable, and we get a whole bunch of other titles tied to that too, because we're decision makers. So I think that's
Right.
made it very difficult. And I wish that people could see me and other women beyond the title. Then they would know she's a clown. She ain't got no sense. Yeah, they would know a whole lot, right? But you don't get that initial opportunity because
I
you're just
think you're
by
about
yourself.
categorizing women who are driven. I'm not doing that when I said I'm talking about you because I know you. I'm not talking women in general. I know you, and I know you've been working hard and driven hard and working hard and raising your money and to get her where she is. And it's until recently, and I've known you all my life, but it's until recently that
Right.
I've seen you open up with single have fun. And my first time seeing that was Thanksgiving a couple of years ago. We ain't gonna have that conversation right here. Everybody don't need to know
We're
that.
not having
But I'm
that
saying
conversation.
before now, in my opinion, that's what I saw. I never saw that side of you that's open. You're in the professional forward. And so that's why I asked that question about that. But I'm glad we'll come back to
Yeah.
that. Yana, I want to talk to you because you
Okay.
kind of similar, all of you are similar. But Yana, your story is in too because you are mom and you are are challenged because not only are you a public figure in terms of music and Sunday best, and everybody knows you music, gospel artist, but you are a worship leader, but you're also challenged because you're in the gospel music industry, and dating in that capacity is similar to we see because people see you on stage in charge. I want to ask you a question. Do you feel like role as a professional, as a gospel singer, as an artist, do you feel like that has helped or has that hindered you in terms of your dating?
Um, I want to say I go back and forth. It helped, but then it has hindered. And I can agree with everything the young lady just said. Like every point that she hit, like I've experienced it. Like being in the forefront, being a gospel singer, uh, being on TV and having that platform where 1.2 million people has voted for me. I get a lot of guys sliding in my DMs and things like that, but I'm not one to always. I'm very old fashioned, and I know I have
Yes.
to come up with the times because we're living in these times where dating online or you slide in the DM, you can get a date off of that. But I'm just not moved by that. So it kind of hinders me in that sense because I'm just like, approach me. Because like she said,
Right.
away from the microphone, away from my charitable work, away from me mentoring young girls, away from me being a mom and get glammed up and have to sing and lead, being a Levite, leading worship. If you sit at my house, I like to cook fish. I'm gonna play Uno. I like to just
Right.
take long
Right.
walk. Like I'm really simple. But my brother always tell me, you're a whole lot of woman. And I'm just like, and you're unapproachable. Like, why is it? Because when you get to know me,
Right.
I do have all of these things, but I'm still a woman.
Yes.
If you just really get
Yes.
to know me. And another thing she said, it's such a turn on to me for a man to approach me because I can't dim my light anymore to make somebody else shine. And I can't give
Yes.
you I can't you gotta meet me halfway. I'm not gonna do all of these things because you figure, oh, you know, you're so busy, or I see you here and I see you there, or I see you taking picture with all these people. I don't like those little negative connotation. I don't like that because that turns me off. So if you approach me in the right way, like old fashioned, then you got a girl and you might can get a date out of me. So to answer your question, it helped, but then it also hinders.
Wow, we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back. It's a lot of meat. I'm leaving the bones. I gotta come back and get it. Let me get you in, Sarah. Sarah, you are just got off tour with Tyler Perry. You're doing a lot of music. You're gospel. You're just a singer, Yana, but you're doing entertainment, a lot of sex. But your perspective is a little different because you came out of a divorce, so you're trying to find yourself and talking from the perspective of a see. I want to ask you a question because there may be some other singles who are watching right now who came trying to figure out how do you get reacclimated to the dating life? How do you put it back together? When do you know you're ready to date again? Or so where are you, Sarah, right now in terms of your life? Sarah, are you on here?
I think so. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hear you now. Yes,
You can hear me?
yes.
Okay, great. What's your question? Hey, y'all.
I want to know where you are in terms of trying to get into dating to coming through a divorce.
You want to know where I am? What? Say it one more time. I have a hard time hearing you, Pastor.
I want to know where are you in terms of trying to start back dating after being a divorcee.
Okay. I'm definitely in a place where I'm actually seeing someone right now, and I'm in a good place with dating and things of that sort. Took me a long time to get there. I was married for 15 years. People would be surprised. I'm only 37. I got married when I was 19, so you know, it grew me up really fast. So, but it took me. I've been divorced now for, let's see, 2014, 2015. So it took me a long time to get back into it because everything had changed completely when I became single again. The last time I was single, the Cosby Show was on. Okay, so it's been a big difference in how things are. I mean, completely different. how women are aggressive and, you know, going after
Yes.
men and stuff. It was a whole different ball game. But I'm adjusting. I'm trying, you know, and I, you know, like I said, I'm seeing someone and it's going pretty good. So, you know, I don't know. We'll see.
Thanks. Yana, you, Lisa, and Sarah have all said something. I want to come at you for a minute, Yana. You said, Yana, you said, I'm old fashioned and a guy needs to just approach me. And if a guy approaches me, who knows, he may be open. I want to press that a little more because I'm of the opinion, I don't know if the onus of initiating a conversation always has to rest solely on the shoulders of a man. I want to press that a moment because I know we're more mature. This is grown and sexy conversation. Alton, I want you to chime in. Sarah called it aggressive. So are we saying in 2020 that a woman can't initiate a conversation? I'm not talking about be wild and loose. If a woman sees a guy who's working on the job for the first time to introduce herself or then invite him to lunch in the cafeteria at the job or to a cup of coffee, is that considered wild? Is that considered loose? I'm just trying to figure out these roles in terms of what's the role of a woman in terms of pursuing. And Alton, I want you to jump in a minute. So you said aggressive. You said not being aggressive or old school, Yana. What does that mean?
I, when I spoke in terms of old school, I mean, yes, I would like for a man to approach me, but we were just, it's funny you should ask me this because me and my girlfriends, we were just talking about our ways of flirting. I'm very much so a flirt. So I'm very much so a people's person anyway. So we were talking, they were saying, well, Yana, your way of flirting is joking with a man. And that's my way to open up the floor to say, hey, I'm kind of throwing it out there to see where you are. So let me see if you're gonna bite this bait. Like I have a little bait too. Like I'm not just gonna sit back and say I'm waiting. Like I'm at the stage now because I am 42. So I'm just like I'm not gonna sit back and wait. But if I throw that line out to you and you acting like, oh, okay, well, you're not biting, then I'm gonna pull back. Then I'll see what you're gonna do. So I'm not just gonna solely just wait on him. If I see something I like, I'll probably give a smile or give a little gesture to make it clear to him or to give him a notion to say, hey, it's okay to say something. Or even just respond back to me so we can open up a conversation via, you know, if we're at the grocery store or if I'm out, you know, at a lounge listening to loud music or whatever. So yeah, I'm just not all the way um sold on just him coming to approach me first.
Alton, I want you to jump in there right there. How do you feel, Alton, if a woman, I'm not saying being wild or loose, but if a woman makes an overture or if a woman makes a statement towards you that you don't know, how do you feel about that, Alton? Is that a red flag for you? Is that a red flag too?
You know what? First of all, they killing me in these Facebook comments. One thing, listen, I want, I, okay, I'm gonna answer your question, but yeah, no, if a woman come at me, you know, I like it. I like a woman to take initiative because sometimes I I be so in my mind and be so focused. Sometimes I overlook a woman kind of shooting a shot, like so I miss a smile or something like that. So if you want to holler at me, you know, say it. Get my phone number. I don't mind. Cause sometimes I'm telling you, man, I will miss it. I miss a lot of women trying to holler at me because I just don't be paying attention.
You know, Alton, let me ask you this question because I really want to know this. So, what would a woman say your red flags are about you? Since you can see all the red flags in all these women, what are your red flags?
I'm, I'm glad you
Yes,
came
I'm
back to
actually
this.
want to see because I mean, because if it's good
Listen,
for the goose,
Pastor,
it's got to be
all
good
I'm
for the
saying,
gander, bro.
Pastor, this is all I'm saying. I
All
feel
right.
like most of the times we go into a relationship and we find things to change about someone to be with them. And I'm not for that. Like, be all of you. Like, I think if you get into a relationship, you should accept every person, not just perfection, but their flaws. And I mean accept their flaws without the intent of changing them. And I feel like we have a lot of problems in relationships because we focus on the issues and we trying to change somebody. So that's all I mean.
I,
Like, so if it's a red flag, I'm not trying to change that about a person. And a lot of times I don't even tell a
I,
person that that's what I don't like about them. I just don't talk to them again.
So you ghost them. I'm
what,
sorry.
what I'm saying, Alton, if you fell in love with a woman, I've seen this before. I've seen couples get married and one of the couples didn't want to have a child, right? One person in the
Right.
relationship, but because they love the other person, they would be willing to do something. Because if you're gonna get married to somebody, it is gonna be give and take. You're not gonna like everything about a person, so that's not necessarily a character issue. You know, um, when I started dating Andre, my credit was tore from the floor, right? Because we much younger, but in that room for growth, it's a
You just
difference
heard
between
yourself, Pastor. You
character.
said you was younger.
Yeah,
How young
right.
were you? We
Mm-hmm.
Touche.
we in our 30s. We 30, 40 years old. Come on now, Pastor.
Mm-hmm. And you know, credit
That's
is
all I'm
something
saying.
that's
Like, we're
fixable.
older. So it's a lot of things that, I mean, you ain't got time. You ain't about to change that about yourself. You ain't about to change. If you don't want kids by now, you ain't gonna have no kids. If you messed up with your finances, you old. You ain't changing that. It's just certain things that I'm not trying to change about a person. I want to accept everything about a person, and that's it. That's all I'm saying. So if it's a red flag, I don't feel like that person gonna change it, then somebody will love you. Like, go to that person.
But it's almost like you're looking for perfection, brother.
See, and that's what they said in the comments. I'm not look. That's why I'm saying it's not perfection. Like I said, I want to accept the flaws and perfection. If it's something that I just can't deal with, I'm not going for it. That's all. And we all have our red flags. Come on now. See, and the ladies on the bottom, y'all ain't saying nothing. Y'all ain't saying nothing, and I'm gonna shame
So,
all three.
Give
so,
them a chance.
I'm
Well,
gonna shame
a
all
red
three of
flag
Be
for
y'all.
me, a
patient.
red flag, a red
just,
flag for me
just,
is children
just
as
being
well.
respectful. Just being respectful. He done turned his back on us. You turned your back.
Yeah,
Ooh,
cause,
you see that?
You turned your back on
cause
us.
Pastor, they know what I'm talking about. They know they got red flags that you
Oh
just. It's
goodness.
like,
Yes, we
no,
got
I
red
can't continue
flags.
with that person.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
Lisa, you want to
Pastor,
add that,
I
please?
do. I'm just gonna push in. So I think all of us have. So I'm curious about. Do you call them red flags or standards, right? So let's
Mm-hmm.
just stay in the whole conversation about good credit or finances. So it's one thing, and what you said earlier, Alton, was if it was a first date, that's a lot for a first date. For somebody to be sitting up there telling you they running down how the credit score or their situation, or worse than that, kind of looking at you and going, so we going Dutch, or how we you got this. That's a yes, that's a turn off, right? Yes. Or if you know it's not where you need it to be, you insist that first date is a walk in the park and not a dinner at Ruth Chris. So I get that. But 15 walks in the parks later, I'm a little curious about what else do you have the capacity to do. So I don't argue that that's a red flag, but I think it depends on what are you trying to do to improve that. And sometimes I feel like for women, we almost have to give more grace, right? That we have to give more grace in that. And so, red flags for me, if you tell me you at this age, right? You got two or three kids, right? You're divorced or never been married. You got two or three kids. I'm not saying that's a red flag. You got six or eight. That's a whole nother conversation, right? That's a question of what was all of that about, right? And the other piece to that is at this age, if our conversations are all tied to you texting me all the time, and you text and text and you don't have the finesse to engage,
Not
I
sure.
feel you, right, in a conversation with me, I'm a little turned off, bro. I'm like, do you have that intellectual capacity to get between my ears before
Come on.
this going is sexy, right? Before some, so that's okay.
You
So
talking
we're
good.
there, right? Those are red flags. Those are red flags. And if I can be fair, I'll learn more about you in that engagement before you start telling me all your other complexities tied to your growth and development with finances, or I hadn't bought a house, or how you used to say it, Pastor, you got this great car, but you're still pulling up in an apartment because you ain't at that place yet, or you got the house and nothing's in it but the refrigerator, right? Those are different conversations, but those
Yeah.
are the combination of red flags and standards. I'll just throw that out there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah, I want to ask you. question. I'm gonna you and Yana hit this. This question comes from online. Lanera Hunt says, what do you say to men to about women when women when I'm 53 years old comes what happens when a woman feels like she doesn't need a man? I've accomplished all these things. All you three ladies are accomplished in your own fields. And what happens when I've done so much? I've accomplished a lot of my own, so I don't need a man in my life, but I desire a man. What do you say about men who said you actually don't need a man? So that would be my question of all three of you. And that's what I was alluding to with you, Lisa, too. It was a little shady how I put it, but what happens to women who act like they don't need a man?
Mm.
Have you ever heard that?
Big,
Have either of you ever heard that about yourselves? I don't need a man. I can do
not
bad by
about
myself.
me.
Not
No, I
about
never
me.
heard that about myself. Mm-mm.
No.
But
So I
those
have. Yeah.
you have, okay,
Ah,
I have.
okay,
Lisa?
But it's not true. So
right.
it's not true. And you know, Pastor, you may recall there was an attempt once to be engaged. That wasn't that might not have been the best partnership for me, at that season in my life. But this idea of I don't need a man, I think really do comes into how people see your independence and how you might carry oneself. And if I had to
Mm.
really self-reflect, and maybe this is what you're pushing me to, if I had to really self reflect, do I sometimes carry myself like that? As I've gotten
Mm.
older, not only have I had to revisit that, my daughter called that out. My 23-year-old daughter called that out in her own prayer for, Mama, I want you to be married and partnered, engaged like me. That'd be like, she's engaged. She's like, but sometimes you exude this, I don't need a man. And I didn't realize that until she called that out. And that wasn't by
Mm.
design. And maybe that's because you become guarded. For me, since the sisters said that that hadn't been their experience, I might have been guarded by hurt or by heartbreak, because that's real too. And I did
yeah,
experience that. And so at some point, I probably did push that out. But
Mm.
trust and believe, that's certainly not, that's not the position. That's not the position.
Yeah, for me, the hurt and the not needing a man are two different things for me.
yeah,
I knew I wasn't ready to date until I dealt with all the hurt, and it was you could see it all on me. Like you can see there
yeah,
was that guard of hurt. But as far as the independence and things of that sort, I mean, like Ayala, I was raised very old school as well. So, I don't
Hmm.
believe that. I very much so. Thank you, Jesus. Looking forward to being married
yeah,
again. There's no
yeah,
hard place
Hmm.
in me for that. So,
Mm.
I don't like that stereotype too that's been kind of put out there that women who have things and that we're moving up in our careers, like we automatically have this, oh, I'm good, I don't need nobody.
Mm.
That's not that's not, a
That's
lot of
right.
us
yeah,
don't feel like that. We're open.
yeah,
I know I was very open and am, open. I'm just not aggressive. Like, I'm not very flirtatious. I am, but you got to get to know me first. It's kind of, you have to kind of,
yeah,
I don't know. I think that's also that I'm introverted too. So, it's very difficult for me. I'm real big when I'm on stage, but when I get off a stage,
Yeah.
I'm just like, in my little corner watching everybody. And
Right.
if you come talk to me, you
Right.
find out
yeah,
I'm a great person. But it's hard to get that. And so I think that sometimes that might have come across as well for me. But all it is that I'm just introverted. It's not that I'm not
yeah,
looking, or that I'm not open, or thinking that I'm too independent to get a man type of thing,
yeah.
Good. Jan, this
And I
question's
think
for
with
you.
me,
It's a great question.
oh, okay, go ahead.
Jan, I want to ask you
Go
this
ahead.
question. This question
Yes.
is, and I want you to hit this question, then say what you're going to say. But his question for you from online, Yana. How much of your dreams should you give up to help your partner reach their
Ooh,
dreams? Or should you give
Oh
up
my.
some of your
ooh,
dreams to help your partner
sound like my
uh,
marriage.
reach their dreams?
I don't
Yana,
I
that
don't
question
think
is for
you
you.
should ever I don't think you should ever give up on your dreams. I think things should come in seasons and in time, especially if you're committed to that person. I don't you know, if I'm married to that person, we're not even really married. If we're committed and we're in this thing together, because I'm a helper and I'm a nurturer by nature, I will help you with yours. That's just, this is just me. I'm going to help you with yours, but I'm not going to negate mine. I'm not going to stop mine. So
Right.
it's all about
Right.
communicating with that person and allowing them to know, hey, listen, you have dreams and goals, but I do too. We're going to work on this. We're going to have to like kind of set like a guideline or a timeline to where we're going to get this accomplished with you, then this with me, then we come together and do whatever we're going to do, because I foresee me and my partner being in business or being in ministry or
Yes.
whatever we're doing, we're going to be
Yes.
together. So
Together.
it's not me giving up on mine and him giving up on his. We're going to do this together. That's just for me, in my perspective, and the way I feel about it.
That's great.
I
That's
second
great.
that.
After this question is for you. It's from Demetrius Cohen online. He says, "What do you do when you start considering dating people out of your Christianity, out of your faith, if you the same faith you share? How do you feel
I
about it as a
I
man
tried it.
dating somebody, or is that a red flag for you
I
too? Is that a red
tried that.
flag for you?"
But, okay, I tried because people said I was hard on women. I tried to date a woman outside of the faith, and it just didn't work. I mean, there was a lot of going. Well, it was a lot of challenging that she was doing to me. Like she would challenge my faith because I was being open, so I wouldn't ask questions. I wouldn't, challenge her on her beliefs because I was trying to do something different. But she would challenge me a lot, and we had a lot of going back and forth. And I'm like, yeah, this is not gonna work. You know. So yeah, I tried the outside the faith thing. It don't work. It just don't work for me.
So let me ask you this, Alton. What what are some of the issues that people you dated? What have they said about you that was negative, or things that they didn't like about you? Because I've heard you say what you didn't like about the people you dated. I want to hear what they said about you, things they didn't like about you.
The crazy thing about that, I never asked that question, so I don't know what they don't like about me. Hey, look,
You didn't stick
don't
around
ask
long
that.
enough to find out.
I ain't asking that question. What kind of
Right.
Right.
question is that? Hey, tell me what you don't like about
He
me.
rolled
That's a
out some
horrible
quick.
question.
He did right. He threw up the
I don't.
deuces. Yeah.
That's a horrible question.
You have
I
no
don't. I just never
grace.
asked that question. What'd you say?
You don't give people grace, period. You don't give them any grace. You just roll out.
No grace. Christ like, Christ like,
Man,
Christ like.
one day I'm gonna figure out how to explain this a little bit better. But I think we all on the same page. It's just certain things like faith. It's just
Yes.
certain things that you just don't want to continue with a person. It's
Right.
just, and you hear it, and I mean, it's like I don't. If you talk about your ex badly, I don't want to talk to you. If you got negative things
Mm-hmm.
about your ex, I'm not going to continue another date with you. It's just certain things I'm not going to do because it's like you haven't healed from that. And the way you talk about
Mm-hmm.
him, I don't know. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's just
Yeah.
certain red flags that are deep. Now, I'm not talking about just fluffy stuff. I'm talking about serious, deep stuff that I'm listening
Right.
to because I listened on
Foundational
the first
things.
date. And so if you
Mm-hmm.
saying stuff that I'm like, okay, the issue with me, I just can't go on the second date with you. I do want to say
Mm-hmm.
this too, Pastor, to the ladies down at the bottom. I love a woman doing something with her life. Like I don't, I if my wife wanted to stay at home, that's fine. But I would love if she work on something. Work on your dreams. I want to come support you. I want to carry your bag. I don't get men that can't take a woman that's doing something with. I don't understand it, but that can't take it. I want you to be busy. That way, you ain't got to bother me all the time either. Do something.
So you'd rather
Because
control their finances to versus her
Yana,
coming in with a little bit of messed up finances and helping her with her finance. So you'd
right.
rather you would take a woman to stay home and control her finances, but
Ah,
instead of
no,
okay.
versus taking a woman, huh?
no, I don't want to stay at home mom. Like I don't want a woman to stay at home. I want a career. Like I, I,
Okay.
I like I love a boss woman. That's attractive to me. Man, when you tell me you got your own business, your own company, your own career, you traveling, man, that does something to me. I got to pray. I got to go in my prayer closet, Pastor. It's
I
because
think
she's
that's
doing
right.
something to me.
I want to
So
say
I
something, Pastor,
applaud
about
y'all
the.
for
I
really,
think that's
like, for
rare.
real. And I think, man, we gotta learn how to balance and support our ladies, man. If you got a woman that's doing big things, don't try to say little things that,
It's
because I
hard,
know it. Well, you got that little thing you got going on. You ain't never got time for me. Well, on the other side, she was
right?
there for you when you didn't have time for her. She stayed there.
Mhm,
Women
mhm.
put their stuff on the back burner to support a man, and I think it's time out for that. Our women are doing some great things.
Appreciate
We got to
that.
find some type of
Mhm.
balance to support our black queen.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Sarah, you want to say something right there?
Well said.
Sarah?
Oh, it's just, yeah, I had to backtrack a little bit because brother, he just kind of went on and on. But it's to his credit. I remember I was talking to a ex NFL player, and we were really, I mean, we hadn't even gotten to a date yet, but we were talking on the phone, and it was just really going good. And then we got to talking about religion and things like that, and he was, God bless him, he was a very, very, very set in his ways black Israelite, and we started to discuss different things, and we never even got to a date. I just called him one day. I said, listen, I said, I'm a Christian, I'm strong in my belief, ain't changing. You're a black Israelite, you're strong in your belief, you're not changing, so let's just call it. Oh, I'm not going to try to convert you, I'm not going to try to convert you. But we've had very, almost very argumentative conversations about religion. Those are foundational things. So I cut it off at the root before we even got a chance to go out together. I'm before we even got a chance to go out together, I said, okay, I wasn't gonna waste my time. I'm too old for that. It's just like, okay, if our foundation ain't gonna be the same, then what are we doing? So I get that.
Yeah.
I don't have a red flag, but I got red shoes. Hey,
To run away with.
Okay.
Lisa, you and I think you mentioned this earlier, and it's a great question I want to pose to you because it came from online. The question was, when are we going to hold men accountable for their lack of communication skills?
mm,
Oh my goodness, starting immediately, right? And how do we, so the question, Pastor, was when, and let me say this. So my response is in recognition of the beauty of black men, right? And that everyone may not be an orator or a speaker or an English major. And that's really important for me to say as a former English major, right? But we still want to pull out of men the ability to express yourself, and we have to, how do we hold them accountable might be another conversation, but the fact that we gotta, but the fact that we have to start doing it is so important. I was recently in the mall with my daughter, and she doesn't live where I live, so we were visiting each other, and so we were walking through the men's department, and my brother will remember this because I actually called my brother to make myself go closer to the guy so that I could ask him a question about something that I saw. But really, I was trying to get another gentleman's attention in the department. And my daughter kept saying, Mom, he's looking at you like he wants to say something. So she kept nudging me and nudging me. And so finally, I said something. And then we didn't know each other. He didn't know who I was or what I did, but I could sense some nervousness. So we had small chatter. He gave us an opinion. I even said, can you give us a suggestion of a restaurant nearby? And then he asked, where was I from? And then he all of a sudden froze up. It's like he just froze up. And I'll be completely candid. I was just like, this is too much work. This is a little too much work. Now in the car, my daughter and I debated. I saw she was like, if you serious, you're gonna have to just do the work. But I think communication does matter. And maybe I have to own that one. But I'll tell you in the car, I hadn't thought about it till this conversation as though I lost something. I just want to encourage that regardless of age, but especially as we get older, that our men say what they're thinking and that they take the initiative. And even if you can't say it, we're so creative. Find another way to express it. That's still communication, right? And it doesn't have to be some amazing poem, or it doesn't have to have Complete subject verb agreement. But I will be the first to say that when that subject verb agreement is on point, that thing is that's grown and sexy too, right? I'm just gonna say
Yes,
it,
it
right?
is.
But we won't criticize you if it doesn't come out that
Right.
way, because at least that's effort. But we got to hold them accountable now, So I would want that
Yeah.
to be said in this
Yeah.
conversation. Yeah.
Yana, this question is for you, and it's for you, Alton. This is for Alton and Yana. It's you,
Yes.
Mr. Red Flag. Miss Red Flag first, then Miss Crawley. Mr. Red Flag,
Okay.
does your partner have to be on your same level financially? Mr. Red Flag, does your partner have to be on the same level as you financially? Don't.
Well, I tell you, Pastor, you set me up for this. You know what? No, listen. They, you don't have to be on, because I don't know what level. You don't have to be on the same level. But what I'm saying is, I don't want a person that's bad with finances. And like I said, she said it earlier. The woman said it on the first date. And, and I'm gonna tell you what else she said. Well, maybe you can help me with that, with my finances. I'm like, I'm not your financial advisor. I'm supposed to be your man. Like, I'm too old. Look, it's just, yeah, y'all leave me alone. Leave me. You know what? Back out of the red flag, Pastor. Back out of that conversation. Now I lost followers because of this conversation.
Oh
Pastor,
Lord.
help me. And Pastor, you ain't saying nothing, Pastor. You set me up. You tried
Wait.
to.
Well, let me say this. I will say, ask on the first date, somebody asking you to help them financially. That's a lot.
That's a
I
lot.
would say somebody asking you to help. Maybe you can help me with my finances the first date. I,
Mm-mm.
you never told me that part, but I that's a lot for somebody to talk about. Can you help them with their finances the first time you ever took them
Mm-mm.
out? I would agree with you on that. Yana, can you help me on that question? Does your partner have to
You
have a certain financial level for you to be interested? Can't they back on?
you can't totally be a bum. You can't totally just not have anything, because I'm an entrepreneur and I work hard for mine. So I want to say, you don't have to surpass me, but I want you to understand with that. See, with that comes a lot. I hope you are secure enough to look at my statements or look at what I'm bringing in and not be intimidated by that.
That's right. That's
So,
right.
but I can say,
Uh-huh.
again, again, I'm just like, if we're
Uh-huh.
doing this thing together, baby, like we can. No, I'm not totally Xing him out. I'm not saying if he makes less than me that I'm gonna throw him away, because I know I
That's
have a
right.
way with me that's gonna push my man. So I know we gonna get it
There you
together.
go.
So that's just the thing about me,
Yes, ma'am.
because it me for me
That's
in
Excellent.
right.
my house, we not gonna
That's
fail.
come on.
So I'm just
Oh,
not gonna
not at
throw you
all.
away,
That's
you
right.
know. So I
Agreed.
say, even if he's not here and he's here, I'm gonna figure out, because I'm very creative, I'm very witty. I know how to do that. I know how to get money,
She walked
So
around
I
that
do that.
question,
Good.
Pastor.
So we're
She
gonna do it
walked around
together.
that question.
I'm
She
saying,
walked
okay,
No,
around
so
she
want me to
didn't.
ask it
that thing.
definitively? No, he don't have to be where I am financially. If you want a
And I'm
definite
not talking
answer.
about a number financially, but I'm talking about a mentality of finances. Not a number, but I'm talking about a mentality. Someone that don't know how to spend, save, budget, and they get into and they spend all your money. Like, I'm not talking about
So we're not
a
doing
bank account.
Mm.
No.
I'm talking about mentality. That's all I'm saying.
Look, we got so many questions. I'm not gonna be able to finish this all tonight. I want y'all to come
This is
back
good
and
though.
have part two of this. If not next Monday, the
Yes.
Monday afterwards. I need the same
yeah.
panel because I ain't got to half the questions. I'm almost out of time.
Uh,
Will
Okay.
y'all come back? We do this with the next
Yeah,
2 weeks. I want
Yes.
this same group. Would
I
y'all?
love
yes.
to.
Okay. All right. Thank y'all
We'll
so
be
much.
glad
Because
to. Yeah.
even you, Red Flag, we gonna get you. We gonna get you.
You set me
All
up,
right.
Pastor. You set me up.
Did you?
You said it. Those were your words, not mine. I just asked you a question. I just asked you a question based upon what you said. Our
Right,
last
right, right.
conversation. Let me ask this
Red
question.
cup.
I want all four of you. I want all four of you to weigh in on this question, and then we're gonna close out. We'll start with you, Sarah. Um,
Okay.
wow. you came through the divorce, and now you're back ready to date, and now you're back in a relationship. You're dating. You're moving forward. But here's a question: What have you done? What have you done during the interim? Before that was a relationship, before you start back dating, what did you do to find happiness and peace within yourself? How did you find your own peace? What are you doing to stay happy and good with yourself while you're waiting to build a relationship?
Okay.
I want all you to
It
weigh
was
in on that question. What have you done?
it was a lot I went through. I did counseling. I went to see a therapist multiple times. I did session work, how to heal from divorce and things of that nature. I improved my credit. I don't have a car note. I got all my finances, like, because I think, he was saying, it's the mindset, that's important. That's another foundational thing. So, I mean, I just really took care of myself. What can I do to improve myself? Even from the smallest things of taking better care of my skin and taking better care of my hair and things of that nature. Just what can I do to fully take care of myself? So that's what I just focused in on myself, just building my credit. Credit's good now. It's just like I wasn't going to engage into a relationship until I had some of those foundational things ready, because I didn't want to have those negative conversations. I didn't want to have those beat 'em up type conversations, did after your divorce, what happened, and your finances and all this kind of stuff. No, I took the time to improve those things, and then I made myself, and it was almost like once I did those things, just kind of almost like the doors just opened up, like a light shone over my head or something. And I started to, get approached and things of that sort. So I just took care of myself. I just really, really focused in, and that made me happy to know that I'm taking better care of my person, so I could be good for that person that God has for me.
Yeah.
Lisa, I've known you forever, and I've seen your journey, and so proud of your journey. Seen you, go through school. You had money when you were young. You raised her. She's a beautiful young lady, educated just like a mom, and you've dated a few people. But what have you done for Lisa? What have you done for you to be happy while you're building for a relationship? What have you done to find peace and happiness within yourself while you're waiting for on the next to happen?
So thank you for your kind reflections of my journey. Some of the things that I have done, first and foremost, have started with making sure that I connected with the Father and have a stronger spiritual life. It's not perfected, but it keeps me grounded every day, period. And for me, that was important because I've been in relationships and I've had to reflect oftentimes, is there something I'm not doing? Is there something perhaps wrong with me? And I've taken on a wonderful journey in investing in myself. And that investment included the following: self care, self health, finding an exercise that I found as a hobby that helped me to just reflect and build on a better Lisa. I have found how to celebrate who I am in my own being, that my joy needs to have to be more developed. So, what brings me joy? I love to dance. I dance wherever I am and there's music, whether I am with or without a partner. I dance when no one's watching, and I sing, and I am happy in that space. So when that dance partner arrives, we'll be good. I've also invested a lot in being unapologetic about having goals and aspirations. I've always been ambitious, but I don't hide that. That's who I am. And so I've become more confident in that. And I've given myself permission to date. I really think I held back on that when I was raising my daughter. I had a female child and I thought I needed to put all of my energy into that. And I thank God for who she's become. But I've given myself permission to be out there and to move away from the titles. People who know me best don't know Dr. Lisa anybody. They know Lisa, who is, if we are in a room, they know who's going to clown the most. They know where that laughter is going to be. And the other thing I'll say is I've given myself permission to step up and say something. Like I mentioned earlier, the gentleman, where there would have been times where I would have made eye contact and kept walking. Oh, my daughter has taught me how to slide into the DMs. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of that. Well, she did. She did. Uh, I'm not the biggest fan of it, but you know what I've learned? for me to not do it, there's somebody else who will. And all I'm pushing for is a conversation. And I think that that matters. It's not in a bad way. And to simply
Yeah.
be at peace with where the Lord has allowed me to be, with the good faith of knowing that He is coming. And I don't have to chase down, run through the forest, knock down trees, stand on the street and wave Him down. When He comes, we will both know. And I'm okay with that until that happens. I feel so much better than I did 10 or 17 years ago. I'm free to be found, and I'm free to help Him find me.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yana,
I
that's
think
great. Yana,
yeah.
uh,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
Oh no, I was saying I can take you back. I can concur with both of the ladies. Like self-care is the best care, you know. I really for me, moving to Atlanta forced me to face me. So I had to really get over some hurt, a past relationship. I felt like I always say I was always somebody's girlfriend posing as the wife, but was never got the ring nor the man. So I was always in consecutive relationship that lasted 3, 4, 5 years, like since I was 17. Had my first child at 17. A lot of people didn't know that. I had my second son at 30. Didn't get the ring nor the man. So I really had to overcome the hurt. I had to know that I am worthy of love. I am love from love and will be with love. So I had to do that process of self-care. Had to do the process of started reading Proverbs, the woman in Proverbs, storing up the house, getting my credit straight, taking care of me, exercising and making sure I'm
Yes,
showing up how I want him to show up because he is a reflection of
good.
you and vice versa. So
That's
That's
good.
right.
just doing all of those things. And like she said, I'm dancing. I dance in my house when nobody's watching. I mean, I'm
That's
just
right.
that girl, I fix myself some dinner, pour a glass of wine, and it's
Hello.
me and me alone. Because when he comes, then it's gonna be me and him, and then
Come on.
So
All
just
right.
doing self-care. Yes, doing self-care. Yeah.
That's good.
That's awesome.
That's great.
Miss Red Flag, what are you doing in the interim to stay happy, to keep it
Um,
together? What are you doing to prepare yourself for that time?
uh, I mean, I posted a video the other day. This coronavirus, man. And where we at, and and why this stuff was going on. And I believe what everybody said at the bottom. God is allowing everything to be shut down for us to get everything in order. So it's like
That's
it's,
right.
it's chaotic, but it's a perfect time to get things in order because you have nothing else to do. And the business is calmed down. So you can get that marriage together. You get your family together. You see them every day. But not only that, the most important thing is to get ourselves together. So I've been really doing nothing, praying, reading, meditating, and just, finding out the new things about me that I didn't have a chance um to look at because of the busyness. You going and going, traveling and traveling, and so yeah, I'm looking at me and I'm being honest about it, and I'm attacking it. If it's something about me that I'm like I gotta change or I gotta fix, man, this is the perfect time because you have nothing else to do. God has shut the world down. You can't even escape America to go somewhere else. So I say, if you out there, man, this is a time to attack those issues head on and don't be afraid. Now you're gonna look at it and it's gonna scare you. You're gonna be like, ooh, you know, but this is the perfect time to do it. Let's take advantage of allowing and let's get things in order in this chaotic moment.
That's good.
Oh
That's
shit, baby. Woo! My God.
we listen. I hope you guys who are watching. I hope you've had a great time. Please keep sending your questions. We're gonna have this same panel back. We're gonna do this grown and sexy conversation up until the pandemic is over. We know it's probably gonna take us to the end of April and parts of May, so we're gonna be back again. But the chemistry of the group is very, very important, and we prayed about everybody who's on here, and we're gonna get all your questions. I promise you. So if we didn't get to your question tonight, whenever we come back, we'll announce it soon. When this same group is gonna come back and we're gonna get some more perspective because they got a lot of wisdom. It's a lot more I got to pull out. Had questions, things as they were talking, things I want to pull out more. But we're out of our time, so we're a little over our time. But it's been good. Thank you for sharing. Please share this link with somebody if you're watching. If you're over, you're grown and sexy, you're not an 18-year-old and you've dated or been married, experienced life, and that demographic that's kind of left out. I hope you got something from it. I appreciate you. I'm praying for you all, and know God's got us here for a reason, for a season. And whether you're married, single, divorced, or in a situationship, God's gonna provide for you. Ask Him to show you your
That's right.
purpose. We'll get through it. Praying for you. Love you. Thanks for being a part.
Love
All
you.
our panelists, all our guests. Thank
Love you
you.
guys.
Thank you so much, Sarah,
Thank you.
Lisa,
Love you all.
Ayana,
Yes.
and Miss Red Flag.
Yes.
Y'all was splendid tonight. Chemistry, and I can't wait till we get together and talk again. Can't wait. Can't we talk again?
Just red
As I log off,
You. All right. Put the shoot down.
as we log off, I hope you be encouraged, guys. And this stuff it's rough out here, but we're gonna make it through. Y'all be encouraged. Love y'all.
Right.
You've been watching Grown
You
and
too,
Sexy.
Pastor.
We'll see you next time. Take
Love you
care.
guys.
Love you,
Peace.
Pastor. All right.
Love
Thank
you.
you.
Bye, guys. Bye.